2025 totaled 60 million. And this is invested cash of
from the code. There was one other investment, permissible investment that is authorized that I did not include, but the board could certainly include. And that is debt issued by drainage districts. The board could purchase drainage district debt if it wanted to as an investment. So like bonds basically issued by drainage districts. And that is not current.
Has it been done before?
No. I don't see any.
Do you update the policy and like, do you look at it annually?
We bring it to this board annually in January.
the second item is to review and approve the depositories of Des Moines Waterworks, and the list of depositories and the limits have been provided. And we are proposing no change to the list of approved depositories for 2026. We're currently utilizing Bankers Trust for our depository, and they have also provided a statement on the collateralization of Iowa public funds, which is also included in your packet.
I had a question on the project expenses. This is on the page that the title statement of earnings. Overall expenditure on the very bottom, overall expenditures on capital projects were 52% of the capital budget for the year. Could you provide some color on why we're so under budget on our capital spending for the year?
Donna and I have started doing a deep dive into that, and I'm excited to present that as one of our finance department hot topics. So we've currently reached out to each one of our departments to talk through some of that. I think what we're initially finding is that there's some carry forwards that we hadn't previously incorporated in those numbers.
And David, you're asking for why are we under capital budget? And that is a lot to do with engineering projects, primarily infrastructure projects. We budget, it takes, a year or around a year to design, and then we often actually construct the project in the following year. So those funds that are unused, the 48%, will be carried over to the following year, and we'll have use of them, which is what Kelly's talking about. We have tried to tighten over the years that carryover amount, because when we over budget for a certain project, that means other priorities weren't allotted budget. But it really depends on construction schedules and design and contractor schedules. And all of that.
Yeah, and we have obligated more funds than what is showing actual expenses. And so like, for example, on a WMAR project, if there's 3 streets, we may have gotten 2 streets done, but we'll do one in the spring. But that funds are obligated, right? We have to pay them, but it won't be done till next year. So, I mean, there's some cash flow things that just happen too.
I've learned that engineers focus on obligated and financial accountants focus on how much work have we done and work expended, money expended. So we're getting in sync.
And we will do a little, we'll go a little bit further than that on some of the other items in the financial statements as well at our finance committee meeting, but that is one of the topics we're working on.
Thank you.
Mhm.
Amy, did you want to
Yeah.
provide detail on the expenditures?
There were a couple entries on the summary of CEO approved expenditures in excess of $50,000. And I really think that both of these are here out of transparency, I think. I'm not sure that they would need to be in here based on the initial direction that we got on this report, which is what are some expenditures that the CEO exercised discretion in spending money on that was not in the budget. This first one is a project, that's related to our Saylorville water treatment plant, UF membrane replacement. So this is a contract that came before the board for approval, and it does have some carryover, as Kelly said just a moment ago. There is some carryover that is not reflected when finance prepared this report. And so honestly, this project would not have needed to be reported. It doesn't hurt to over-report, I don't think, while we're due to that carryover discrepancy. So we're on track with that. And in fact, I think we plan to come in a little bit under budget. And then the next one relates to typical operational activities, a water main repair on East 33rd. When we have those repairs, we have to incur costs to restore the pavement. And so this project was a little under budgeted for the year. And I don't know that I would have a lot of discretion on that, but it does raise it to your awareness.
Am I correct in reading this, that the difference amount of the 44,000 was a tariff that was
Yeah.
charged for importing membrane, the actual supply itself?
We incurred $44,000 in tariffs for
And they passed
just
that
this
on
item
without markup to you? Do you know?
to Des Moines Water Works.
Yeah, okay.
They come from Hungary.
The membranes themselves?
Yeah.
I don't know why I went like this. I assume they're circular, but they're probably not. Yeah.
We have had a number of tariffs, pretty substantial.
Be interesting to track those.
We have been.
You have, yeah. Yeah,
Thank you,
thank you.
Kelly.
You're welcome.
Any other discussion on the consent agenda? Right, we have a motion and a second. All in favor of approving the consent agenda, say aye. Aye. All right, moving on to the public comment period. Do we have any members of the public here or online? Anybody online? What's that?
It's all staff online.
All staff. Okay, thank you. We will move into the Waterworks action items. So item 3A is a request authorization for CEO and general manager to execute purchase agreement for furniture for the engineering department remodel. Amy.
Thank you. We developed a 5-year building maintenance plan a couple years ago that phased in some needed updates to our buildings. And in 2026, the focus will be on our space that engineering calls home upstairs. It hasn't been updated for a number of years. We honestly have avoided it because it's a lot of work, as Lindsay will attest to. It's taken a lot of preparation. And so a remodel will be completed, and the greatest cost of engineering's remodel is in the furniture. which is this action here today. At the time that we implemented the 5-year plan in 2024, our purchasing agent at the time got quotes from vendors for the various components of those projects. And we selected furniture from All Makes as a result of those quotes. All Makes has a state contract, which is very favorable. We always look for that. That means that we're able to get it at really the lowest cost and that we're able to use, we believe they have a good product. We have some of their furniture here now. So the intent has been to carry that same furniture throughout the office spaces for some cohesion, look of continuity. This project includes 8 offices and 16 cubicles and is $224,452.05. So we are recommending that the board authorize the CEO and general manager to execute this purchase agreement for furniture for the engineering department.
Thank you, Amy. I need a motion to authorize the CEO and general manager to execute the purchase agreement for furniture for the engineering department remodel in an amount not to exceed $224,452.05.
So moved. Second.
Discussion? Okay, hearing none, all in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? All right. Item 3B, request authorization to solicit bids for the 2024 Des Moines Water Main Replacement Contract 4 project and establish the date of the public hearing as the date of the February 2026 board meeting.
We are planning a water main replacement project on the 4 streets listed on this board memo. The work will replace 6 to 12-inch water mains with PVC and ductile iron pipe. The mains were selected due to age, main break history, and concerns about reliability. We go through a process where we're identifying mains to replace based on those criteria. The engineer's estimate for this water main replacement project is $3.68 million. And so our recommendation is that the board authorize staff to solicit bids for the 2024 Des Moines Water Main Replacement Contract 4 project and establish the date of the public hearing as the date of the February 2026 board meeting.
I need a motion to authorize staff to solicit bids for the 2024 Des Moines Water Main Replacement Contract 4 project and establish the date of the public hearing as the date of the February 2026 board meeting and direct staff to publish notice as provided by law.
So moved. Second.
Discussion on this one? Hearing none. All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Any opposed?
Are we recording a vote for Alec?
Yeah.
It looks like he's trying to vote, or I see the screen flash like he's.
Alec, can you hear us?
Yeah, I can. Can you hear me?
Seems like he's talking.
Oh, maybe you can't hear me. Hello.
Can you Teams messages vote? We can't hear you.
Yeah,
Alec,
he
though.
could indicate in the chat.
Or can he raise his hand on the thing?
I mean, yeah. We have a forum here, so if we don't record, I just don't want to record a vote for him if we can't ascertain
Sure.
what his vote was, so.
Oh, yes, you can.
So he can hear us. We can't hear him.
Okay.
Alec, if you'd like to vote. Okay, just keep chiming in the chat.
That'll work.
Does that work, John?
That'll work, yeah.
We'll cover the motions for you.
Yes, I got the back and forth. Okay, so we are on 3C. Yes, 3C, request authorization to solicit bids for the 2025 Des Moines Waterworks Main Replacement Contract 1 project and establish the date of the public hearing as the date of the February 2026 board meeting.
This is a similar action as the one that you just took. It's another water main replacement, this time for 5 streets listed on the board memo. This work will replace mains with 8-inch PVC and ductile iron pipe. Anytime we're planning for these projects, again, we're looking for that older pipe, active main breaks that create service disruptions or the potential for service disruptions for customers. The engineer's estimate on this contract is $3.497 million. We would recommend that the board authorize staff to solicit bids for the 2025 Des Moines Water Main Replacement Contract 1 project and establish the date of the public hearing as the date of the February board meeting.
You may need a motion to authorize staff to solicit bids for the 2025 Des Moines Waterworks Main Replacement Contract 1 project and establish the date of the public hearing as the date of the February 2026 board meeting and direct staff to publish notice as provided by law.
So moved. Second.
Any discussion? All in favor to approve this action, say aye.
Aye.
Any opposed?
No.
Alec, yeah.
Yep.
Okay, item 3D. Request authorization to reimburse the city of Des Moines for water main replacement work associated with Ingersoll Streetscape Phase 5, 35th to 31st Street.
We've all seen the improvements along Ingersoll Avenue, and the city of Des Moines is ready to begin phase 5 of this streetscape projects. The changes improve safety, accessibility, and as you've probably seen, allow for bike lanes for transportation. Phase 5 includes construction from 31st Street to 35th Street, and the construction is slated to start this spring. The project is expected to be completed by the summer of 2027. And as part of this project, there are some water main improvements that will be completed in coordination with the city's project. Anytime that we can work with the city of Des Moines or one of our total service customers as a city, it's good for customers. It saves on costs. It minimizes disruption. The awarded amount for Des Moines Waterworks portion of this city of Des Moines project is just under $277,000. So we recommend the board authorize staff to reimburse the city of Des Moines for this water main work associated with the Ingersoll Avenue streetscape, phase 5.
Thank you. I need a motion to authorize staff to reimburse the city of Des Moines for water main work associated with Ingersoll Streetscape Phase 5, 35th Street, 31st Street.
So moved.
Second.
Do we reimburse the city for their project management fees as well?
I think most of it is water main work specifically, but sometimes like mobilization, I think has been split sometimes and different things like that, right?
Yeah, the cost that's in this board memo is paying for the contractor. Yeah.
It's not overhead to the city.
No.
Yeah.
If all in favor and approving the action, say aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? Right. Moving to item 3E, request adoption of 2025 Des Moines Waterworks standard specifications for water main construction.
Thank you, David. There is a process where utilities can submit standard specifications to the DNR for water main construction. This is an efficient process that the DNR and Des Moines Waterworks use to ensure that the water main projects that we do meet the requirements. And so our last standards were approved over a decade ago in 2014. And since that time, there have been some changes in rules related to water and sewer separation and some other things. So we submitted updated standards in November. And the DNR has reviewed and stated they will approve the use of those standards and specifications after that they receive documentation that this board has approved those specs. So we are looking for your adoption of the Des Moines Waterworks standard specifications for water main construction as presented and authorize their use.
You may need a motion to adopt the 2025 Des Moines Waterworks standard specifications for water main construction as presented. Authorize staff to provide proof of adoption to the Iowa DNR.
So moved.
Second.
Are there major changes that are worth discussion here? It wasn't in the.
I don't know that there were any major changes.
Mike
Mike
did
said no.
most of the.
You mentioned
changes, but-
sewer, sanitary sewer and storm sewer separation. That'd be the biggest one.
Yeah.
Okay.
In favor of approving this action, say aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? Thank you. Item 3F, appointment of board members to external boards and committees of the Board of Trustees.
Hopefully there are no surprises on this agenda item to anybody. Alec, as the chair, makes appointments to committees and the external boards. And so, as we have discussed, Finance and Audit Committee will be chaired by David, and Diane Munns will continue serving on that board. The Planning Committee will be chaired by Emily, and Andrea will begin serving on the Planning Committee. And the minutes should probably reflect that those appointments are effective February 1st rather than the beginning of the year. And then in terms of external boards, Central Iowa Water Works, we're keeping the same trustees and alternates. Diane is our trustee. Sue Hubbard, who of course is a past long-serving board member, is the additional trustee as allowed in the 2080 because of our population. I am serving as the alternate to Diane's position, and Ted Corrigan will serve as the alternate to Sue's position. On the Park Foundation, Andrea Bolton and Pat Bruner will continue to serve on the board,
Thank you, Pat.
and Kelly Miners as ex officio.
So there's no action on this item. Any discussion from the board?
Thanks to those who serve.
Yeah, thank you. Okay, with that, we'll move to agenda item 4A, which is our first hearing. So this is the 2025 McMullen Water Treatment Plant exterior painting improvements. I will open the public hearing for comments from the public concerning the project's form of contract, plan, specification, and estimated cost. Amy, did we receive any comments?
We have not received any written or oral comments.
Okay. With that, I will close the public hearing, and I need a motion to approve the project's form of contract, plans, and specifications and estimated cost.
Second.
All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? Okay, Amy, could you give us a breakdown of the bids?
Sure. This project, as we briefly discussed in November, is to paint the exterior of the McMullen treatment plant to remove some of the effects of weathering and extend the useful life of the building. Earlier this month, we received 4 bids, as you see in your materials, all pretty tight together, with the low bid with the alternate. I'm going to look at that column of $370,275 and the high bid of $388,324. The engineer's estimate on this project was $403,800. So those bids came in under the engineer's estimate. The alternate work relates to repairing transformer enclosures, and it's recommended this work be performed to extend the useful life. So as we always do for our joint capital projects, the CIWW Technical Committee was briefed on this recommendation, and we talked about it at the Technical Committee. Staff recommends the board award the 2025 McMullen Water Treatment Plant exterior painting improvements contract to McGill Restoration in the amount of $370,275.
Thank you, Amy. I need a motion to award the 2025 McMullen Water Treatment Plant exterior painting improvements contract in the amount of $370,275 to McGill Restoration and authorize the chairperson, CEO, and general manager to execute the contract.
So moved. Okay.
I didn't see mention in here if we've worked with McGill before. Perhaps I missed it.
We have not worked with them. They're out of the Omaha area, but they do this similar work with tuck pointing and exterior.
Have you taken the step of checking any references or calling around?
We have not, but we're happy to do so before we award. I don't have any concerns, so.
Okay. I think it's a prudent step to at least make a couple calls. Hearing no other discussion, All in favor of approving this action, say aye.
Aye.
Aye. Any opposed? Our next item is 4B is also a public hearing. This is the 2025 floor water treatment plant chemical building elevator modernization. I will open the public hearing for comments from the public concerning the project's form of contract, plans, specifications, and estimated cost. Amy, have we received any comments?
We have received no written or oral comments.
With that, I will close the public hearing and seek a motion to approve the project's form of contract, plans, specifications, and estimated cost.
So moved. Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? Okay, Amy, can you walk us through the bids?
Thank you. This project we briefly discussed in November as well. It's to modernize the existing elevator in the chemical building. You might recall, we mentioned it was a little odd shaped, and this work will replace obsolete components and address some reliability and code compliance issues to make sure that it's safe for use. We received 3 bids, as you can see in your materials, ranging from $525,000 to $585,200. The engineer's estimate was $750,000. The lowest responsive bidder was Shoemaker Elevator Company, $525,000. So the staff recommendation is to award this project to Shoemaker. Nobody knows. Shoemaker, in the amount of $525,000.
Thank you. I need a motion to award the 2025 floor water treatment plant chemical building elevator modernization contract in the amount of $525,000 to Shoemaker Elevator Company and authorize the chairperson and CEO and general manager to execute the contract.
So moved. Second.
Discussion on this item? Hearing none, all in favor of approving this action, say aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? Okay, item 4C, also a public hearing.
We did not take it easy on you this month, Dave. You're doing good, though. I know.
This is the 2026 Tuttle Street feeder main joint seal. This being a public hearing, I will open the public hearing for comments from the public concerning the project's form of contract, plans, specification, and estimated cost. Amy, have we received any comments?
We have received no written or oral comments.
Thank you. I will close the public hearing, and I need a motion to approve the project's form of contract, plans, and specifications, and estimated cost.
So moved. Second.
All in favor? Aye. Any opposed? Okay. Amy, the floor is yours.
There is a 30-inch feeder main that runs east out of our Fluor plant. The joints are prone to leaking. Some of the segments of that pipe have already been replaced or joint sealed to reduce the risk of that leaking. A portion under Tuttle Street between Southwest 16th and Southwest 11th have not yet been addressed, however. The city of Des Moines is planning to develop this area, and we'd like to get in there and get that work done prior to the development to minimize disruption and to those who will be there. And it also becomes more expensive once it's developed. So we received 2 bids for this project, as you can see in your materials, both coming in below the engineer's estimate of $1 million. The low bid was On Track Construction for $763,475. Riley Construction Company, Inc. was $797,390. Staff recommends the board award the 2026 Tuttle Street Feeder Main Joint Steel Project to On Track Construction LLC in the amount of $763,475. And again, Central Iowa Water Works, who owns this feeder main, was briefed through the technical committee of this work.
Thank you, Amy. I need a motion to award the 2026 Tuttle Street Feeder Main Joint Seal Project to On Track Construction LLC, the amount of $763,475, and authorize the chairperson and CEO and general manager to execute the contract.
So moved. Second.
All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? Okay. We are out of our public hearing period and into item 4D, which is well drilling for limited phase 2 environmental site assessment for Saylorville Water Treatment Plant, 10 million gallons per day expansion.
Thank you. This project is for specialized drilling related to Central Iowa Waterworks 10 MGD Saylorville expansion. That's a project that is being managed by Des Moines Waterworks. Before we invest a lot of money in these wells, the environmental site assessment will evaluate whether there are contaminants in the ground that could impact the wells soon or at some point in the future. We understand there have been a couple businesses or activities nearby, such as a landfill, a railway, just other activities that could potentially have released contaminants. So this is an action of, dry cleaners, I believe, before investments are made in the wells. We received one bid for $222,746 from Trout Companies. The engineer's estimate was lower than that at $210,000. So while the bid is one and it does exceed the engineer's estimate, our engineering team believes that it falls in that range of acceptability based on this specialized work, and they're comfortable that it's a fair quote, a fair bid. So staff would recommend that the board award the contract for well drilling for limited phase 2 to Trout Companies in the amount of $222,746. This will be reimbursed by Central Iowa Waterworks and has been discussed with them.
Thank you. Amy, motion to award the contract for well drilling for limited phase 2 environmental site assessment to Trout Companies in the amount of $222,746 and authorize the chairperson and CEO and general manager to execute the contract.
So moved. Second.
What will be in their scope of their work? What are they doing out in the field?
They'll do more borings and test pumping, and they'll actually work with HDR consultant as well. We'll take some soil samples and send them in for analysis, as well as water samples too, just to really try to see if there's like a plume moving towards where we plan on locating the wells, so we can site them appropriately. So
Any sense of why you didn't have other bidders?
it's pretty specialized, and I'm sure it's a lot to do with their schedule and busyness, but yeah.
Does HDR do?
No, this is an actual drilling company.
This and drilling?
Yeah. So there's just not that many people that do that. But Trout did the work that we just finished up on our soil borings and test pumping along the river where the new vertical wells will go. So they're familiar with working with us.
Can you tell us, Lindsay, what kinds of businesses?
Yeah, so when we did the phase 1 desktop analysis, it looks at previous land use, and it had identified some moderate to high risk areas. So there was 6 sites. One's like a former airstrip, which had a spill, I think. So we'll do some additional testing there. There's a landfill, as we mentioned, a dry cleaner, the rail yard. So those are areas that they kind of flag, and then we'll go in and do more testing just to make sure we don't invest $8 million on a well that has contaminants. So we just want to make sure.
Would be because of the chemicals that they use in their process?
I believe so. I'm not super familiar with that kind of business, but I don't know for sure.
Okay, I'm seeking a motion to award the contract for well drilling for limited phase 2 environmental site assessment to Trout Companies in the amount of $222,746 and authorize the chairperson, CEO, and general manager to execute the contract.
So moved.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? Okay, item 4E, acceptance of 2023 McMullen Water Treatment Plant chemical feed improvements.
So far, this evening, we have been spinning projects up, and this is the first one that we talked about that's complete and ready for acceptance. The project included improvements to the chemical feed system at McMullen, including storage, feed equipment, and other improvements to improve reliability, safety, and the overall performance of the system. The project was awarded at the end of 2023 to WRH for $1,225,000. There were change orders during the project totaling around $96,500, which was about 8% of the contract cost, bringing the total cost to $1,321,504.69. So staff recommends acceptance of this project.
Thank you, Amy. Seeking a motion to accept the 2023 McMullen Water Treatment Plant Chemical Feed Improvements Project completed by WRH Inc. in the amount of $1,321,504.69.
So moved.
Second.
Any discussion on this item? Hearing none, all in favor of approving, say aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? Thank you. Item 4F, request authorization for CEO and general manager to execute professional services agreement with Black and Beach for water treatment plants carbon dioxide expansion.
The Fluor treatment plant has a carbon dioxide or CO2 system that serves as an important component of our treatment process. It provides pH adjustment necessary to make sure that we're meeting water quality standards. There's a limited storage on max day of just 5 days of CO2. And this project will expand that storage to 30 days and optimize the performance of the system. Des Moines Water Works issued an RFQ to solicit professional engineering services, and Black and Veatch rose to the top as the most qualified term based on their experience with other plants similar in size, their expertise in these systems, and just their overall ability to perform the work. The scope of the work includes a condition assessment, an evaluation of the alternatives for storage and optimization, some general drawings and opinions of probable construction cost, and a technical memo summarizing their findings and recommendations. So staff recommends that the board authorize the execution of a professional services agreement with Black and Veatch for an amount not to exceed $127,400.
Thank you. I'm seeking a motion to authorize the CEO and general manager to execute a professional service agreement with Black and Veatch for engineering services related to the Fluor water treatment plant carbon dioxide expansion in amount not to exceed $127,484.
So moved.
Second.
Questions on this item? All right, all in favor of approving, say aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? Thank you. Item 4G, adoption of the local match resolution for the Hazard Mitigation Assistance Program for the Fluor water treatment plant flood improvement alignment project.
The titles just get longer as we go. DMWW with Central Iowa Water Works support is pursuing grant funding for a future levee project that will protect the clear well at the Fluor Drive treatment plant. And we are pursuing this grant funding through the Hazard Mitigation Assistance Program, which is a federal program. The future project would protect the clear well from hazards such as flooding. And the clear well, you might remember from your tour when you were a board member, is where we store the treated water ready to pump out into the distribution system when our customers demand it. The levee project will improve resiliency and protection of the critical assets, of course, in our treatment plant and reduce the impact of flooding on regional assets. The total cost of the levee project is $870,000 estimate. And if this grant were received, it would require a 15% local share, which if you do the math, 15% is a far better deal than 100% if Central Iowa Water Works had to pay itself. So this action today to adopt the local match resolution formally commits Des Moines Water Works and ultimately Central Iowa Water Works to provide the required local match. So it's a good potential type of agenda item.
Thank you. Okay, I need a motion to adopt the local match resolution for the Hazard Mitigation Assistance Program grant application for the Floor Water Treatment Plant Flood Improvement Levee Realignment Project.
So
Second.
Hearing no questions, all in favor of approving this item, say aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? Right.
Sorry,
Yeah.
I didn't know when to ask the question. If it is less than the estimated cost, you just pay less. You don't have to pay the 15%.
Right, it's 15% of the cost.
And then, is it allocated for like a duration of a project or a period of time? Do you have to spend it by 2027? Can you apply again? Is this an annual thing? Do you guys know?
We haven't gotten the grant yet, so I'm assuming that it would be in the grant, but they needed to consider us to get the grant. We have to commit the dollars,
This is the
as
first
our
step.
share. So that's kind of the first step.
We don't do a lot of grants. Usually there is, a time frame stipulated and it's not just 1 year, but I couldn't say for
Yeah.
certain. It would
I'm
be
sure it's
maybe
a
2
couple
or
of
3.
years.
Yeah.
Yep. But yeah, I don't remember those details yet.
Also,
Hopefully we get one.
yeah, hopefully you get
Yeah.
it. Good job for doing it.
Yeah,
But just
it's a lot of
curious.
work.
Yeah. Right.
And, when you're not certain that you're going to get it.
Yeah.
But this one seemed worth it.
Yes. Do you know if there's like other people competing for the same funding from?
Think so.
Well, in Iowa?
Kyle says yes.
Yeah, I think there's a scoring matrix that they do
Yeah.
on them, and they said that we scored very high based
Oh,
on
good.
the project and the effect and the impact on the public and things like that.
They rate all that
Benefit.
stuff.
Yeah,
Yeah.
they'll look at the cost benefit ratio and ours is pretty high because if we're out of water,
Right,
for a lot of people.
right.
So,
They try to spread it throughout states and stuff, I know too. So just kind of curious the competitive landscape within our own,
Right.
given that water is one of our greatest resources here. So, okay. Thank you. I can probably Google it and find out more.
Well, I hope that we get to provide more information.
Yeah.
Fair.
good.
Good job.
Did you get a vote on that one?
Yes.
Okay, and then do you need signatures on the?
Yes, I have it for signatures.
Okay. After the meeting, wonderful. Okay, we have made it to the information items. I think Mr. Davis is gonna hop off to enjoy his baby moon in California. So thanks for joining us, Alec. He said.
Quite a
you're
voting
welcome.
record.
So we will start with the board committee reports, Finance and Audit Committee. Diane, anything you want to share out of that meeting?
Well, I attended all those meetings, only I cannot remember what we talked, what
I
did we
think it
talk
was
about?
KPI, wasn't
Big
it?
planning.
Yeah.
Oh, that's right. Right. And I think we're gonna go through.
Yeah.
The
Lightly.
later, so we'll do KPI light.
The planning committee did meet in January. Everyone here today was in attendance, so I'll refer you to the minutes for any refreshers. I do want to thank the staff for putting the presentation together on the lead service line replacement. I found that very helpful, and I know that was an ask of the board, so thanks for putting that together, and especially the scenario planning on the financials. Did want to ask Amy, when do you expect that topic at least to come back as a board item?
Related
The
to,
lead service line and scenario planning.
I think we could wait at least till mid-year to see how our inventory, it will become more finalized. We'll have more final counts for our inventory. So I think we're okay for now, not having finite direction on which scenario do you prefer. So I will give some advance notice, but I don't think it's an urgent thing right now.
Given that we have till 2037.
Right.
Yeah.
To do this.
Right.
On board memberships report, Diane, anything you want to share on CIWW board highlights? I know we have the one page in our packet.
Yeah, think that the most important things going on as we continue to move forward on all of the plants looking at them both, just a lot of work on all of those and the financial piece of it and looking at who needs how much. Our consultant, I think, has been meeting with a lot of those communities to go back over their estimates of what they're going to need. So the engineering is taking place, the financial piece of it, allocations, that's taking place. So we continue to move forward on those things. The Saylorville, the Grimes plant, then the West plant, and then out there, in addition, expansion of the Saylorville plant. So a lot of things that need to take place. We need to keep it on track because we're gonna need that water. The other thing that's been happening is the after action review from the event, isn't that what we're?
Yes,
From
the
the
incident
incident.
for the event, yeah.
Yeah, the event, last summer, going through a lot of work has been done as to where we need to, focus. And I think that has been really highlighted with the, elevated nitrates, this winter, that we really need to have, our act together as we go into this summer, given what some say the high probability that we'll be back in, will be because of that after action review in a much, much better place than we were last year. I guess the final thing is that there's been a lot of focus by CIWW and our executive director on the legislative session and meeting and giving information out to people about what CIWW is doing and our role in water quality and looking forward in that. So I'd be happy to take questions on that. It's a really very, very busy group. I met this morning. Lindsay was on the meeting too. We have a water usage committee, and we are spending time talking about what do we need to do, both with irrigation providers, as to work with them to encourage their customers to get, kind of like furnace tune-ups of their irrigation systems so that they are not overwatering, so that they have them set correctly going into this year. And the committee has a lot of other ideas. So we'll be focusing, I think, on some smart technology for irrigation topics and on education. What you can do, what everybody can do to make better use of water.
One thing I noticed that CIWW has been doing well is some of that education around nitrates, even when they're high now. I had a lot of people asking me what they're supposed to do with water during colder temperatures, and I didn't see anything come out about that. But I don't know if that, having pipes drip, that's like something people say you're supposed to do. I don't know if that's, a waterworks utility messaging opportunity or a CIWW one, but I think it's a missed opportunity. Maybe it's going out in the mailer this month. I don't know, but is it?
Yeah, I think
There
it's in
you
the
go.
newsletter, right?
Okay, well,
It's also been on social media. It got quite a bit of traction.
okay, it
It's,
did.
it's
Okay.
something that we talk about every year
Okay.
because we all need reminders.
Yeah.
Open your cabinet doors, drip
Right.
the water.
Okay. I didn't see it, sorry, but
Right.
anyway, it's something that a lot of people are asking about. And thank you for the messaging around nitrates
Yeah.
because that's coming up again and again. January.
I'll have an update on that too.
One of the things we talked about at the water usage committee meeting this morning was lost and unaccounted for water on the distribution side. I don't know what ours is. There were several examples given, pretty high, 25%.
Yeah, ours
Ours
was
is single digits.
9%, I feel like. the
We
last-
do, we have a very aggressive leak detection program.
So that will certainly be an opportunity within CIWW to share what can be done there. One example was given on a place in somebody's territory that had 40% lost and unaccounted for. Yeah. So, wow, that's a revenue loss and, yeah. So,
Good work by that committee.
Thank you, Diane. Since Andrew's not here, I'll turn over to Pat for an update on the Parks Foundation.
Okay, we had our board meeting on January 9th this month. And 3 things I'll tell you about it. First of all, good news for 2025, we ended up with a net income of almost $61,000, which is 62% improved over 2024. And that's with having a full-time executive director on board the whole year. So it was a very strong year. The concert season was pretty good. Total revenue was almost $650,000. For 2026, the concert, we switched promoters. So we had been using First Fleet and we're going to be using Mammoth in 2026. And Mammoth so far is going to be kind of a game changer. So we've got some pretty big shows lined up already that I'm sure you've probably seen announced. So we're looking forward to that season, I guess, hoping there's no bad weather type of thing. We don't have a big event like we had in 2025 or in 2024, like we had Pretty Oak Revival in 2025 that brought in a lot of people. We haven't had that yet, but I think we're still looking for a big, 10,000 plus event if we can find one. So excited about the concert season. And then the last thing is we're looking for a community foundation grant to kind of do a 3 to 5 year strategic plan for the foundation board that we're looking to do in 2026. So that's all from that.
Thank you, Pat. Appreciate your continued service on that
were
board.
there any special issues from this last session? I did hear a little buzz about parking at that Great Big.
Parking's always an issue, but I mean, I think it'll get better this year with George Flagg being open. I mean, that will open up our traffic routes a little better. So if we did have a big show, there's other, we can use the back of the park and we use shuttles back and forth. Usually it's not too big of an issue. And plus, I think we've got a different parking attendant provider, whatever. That's a little more efficient than what we had in the past. It's like prepaid parking like you'd use at some of the others like Vibrant and those things.
Mike, can you promise that the Fluor Drive Georgia Flag will be open?
Definitely not. Cannot promise that, but they are targeting March 2nd, I think, for the concrete work. And then so maybe a week after that, that intersection could be open. But it's important to know that once it's open, there's still gonna be work around that area too. So the work won't be completely done, but the road will be open and safe for people to drive. So city's working, they're getting a lot of complaints on their end, so they want to get it done as badly as we do, so.
We are trying to slow travelers through the park still, like a freeway cut through.
Yeah.
Thank you, Pat. Amy, the floor is yours.
Okay, you each got the strategic plan, as Diane mentioned. This was discussed at the planning committee, or excuse me, finance and audit committee. So the minutes reflect, I think, really good detail on what was presented. We met 8 out of the 11 key performance indicators, and the ones that we did not meet, I'm still really proud that we made good progress in those. For example, in that KPI 1, which was to develop documentation for 10 positions by the end of Q4. So basically somebody could come in right behind somebody and do their work. So we don't have gaps in knowledge and so forth. We got 8 out of 10 done. And the 2 that we didn't count as complete, they were, we got a lot done. We just weren't quite there. So we didn't count them. So a lot of progress throughout these. The service line initiative, which is that KPI 4, of course, we continue to work on pretty aggressively now. We're kicking off our drink project, getting good responses from that. In February at the board meeting, we will be ready to bring back a board agenda item that requests your authorization on that loan for the Drake project. So then we'll get the contractor started, which will be exciting. Some good customer service improvements in here. We didn't quite make our flume goal, but we knew that was a lofty goal. We got over 500 out of our 600 goal. So we still feel really good about that. One of the things that when I attend neighborhood associations, and I, usually have 3 or 4 points that I talk about, and the most interesting, I think, thing that I talk about, it seems, based on the crowd reaction, is the flume. And it's not uncommon after a neighborhood association, we see an increase or a spike in signups the next day. So I think people are interested in that, and that lower cost that we're offering that to our customers is attractive.
Oh, I have not said this about the water usage committee, but this morning we did talk about if it would be possible to extend the flume and to maybe make presentations so we had what, 54%? We did a survey, it was like 54% of the CIWW service territory is unable to get data below the residential or commercial.
Yeah, irrigation,
Yeah,
they
yeah.
meter irrigation
Yeah.
separately, like 50% can determine that load, and then like 46 cannot determine that load.
Yeah,
Through
so,
metering, through
right,
our
through, right,
utility metering.
right. So, it may be with the work we've done on flume, getting some representative sampling in those other areas, given that we don't have the metering. So we may need you to come and present.
We did present at the Metro Group meeting earlier last year about to the communities and so they are aware of the project. There are at least one city that their meters are not compatible with flume, but I think most are compatible with that. And so we could certainly share some more of that data with them as we collect it more now over time.
Sorry.
No. Okay. I think that covers it. We had, I guess there's under stewardship, a maintenance plan that was for the lime sludge dewatering facility. We've been working on GIS system enhancements to make that system work a little bit better for our employees in the field. And then, of course, continuing to leverage AI. There is more narrative behind that, if you'd like. Now, in 2026, we will be developing our new strategic plan, which I think is really good timing, especially with, the startup or the stand-up of Central Iowa Water Works. Our role has changed a little bit. Who do we want to be going forward? So we'll take this year, at least in some portion, to develop a new strategic plan. And I anticipate that it will be stakeholder driven. The board will have input. Before, when we've done it, we've had customer sessions and so forth. So we have put together a small cross-functional employee group to help develop the RFP that will select the facilitating company to do that and evaluate those responses and so forth. So more information to come on that. In the meantime, because we don't have a strategic plan for 2026 to really have key performance indicators. Each department is working on anywhere from 3 to 5 metrics or things that they want to start or continue tracking. And then the plan is to report those to you quarterly. So these would be things that improve efficiency or productivity or customer service or safety. Perhaps it's financial improvements or health. And so we're starting to do more of those metrics and performance measuring that way. Between Friday and Sunday, if you don't remember, it was cold. And when it gets cold, we have some of our main breaks start popping, and that makes for a pretty tough time for our distribution crews. We had 3 crews. Usually we have 1 crew that's on call, but we had 3 crews working on Saturday and Sunday to keep up. And as you can imagine, it's not much fun to work in the cold when you're wet, fixing a water main break. So our crews, I think are the best around and get the job done. I think one of the most challenging ones, or certainly took the longest, was a 20-inch transmission main on Park Avenue. Blew a big hole. That was not a small break. And so that one in particular was pretty challenging. Water production has had similar challenges. The weekend before, they were called to the Des Moines River intake several times, and repeatedly the river was flushing, which was preventing the water from going through the intake gates. And so they had to manually clean that out several times. Again, not fun to do. So really appreciate our team, who always answers the call day or night to keep water flowing for our customers. So
Amy, we have our CIWW meeting tomorrow, and when
Yes.
you give your producer,
yes,
I hope you'll go through those
I will.
examples
I
so
will.
that people understand, what it takes.
I absolutely will. I'm happy to do that. Also operationally, nitrates continue to remain elevated. Today, the Raccoon River is just a little under 17, which is high. And the Des Moines River is a little over 12. So those have not gone down. The gallery is about 9.5, I think. Emily asked, why are the nitrates high in the winter? And nitrates are unpredictable. A lot of it depends on the weather, of course. But what we're hearing from scientists is that the nitrates, over the years when there have been droughts, they've been stored in the soil below the tile lines. And the frost was, I don't know if it still is, shallow. And as that groundwater has risen, the nitrates they're coming more level with that tiling system and flushing out rather than percolating, I'll call it, through the soil to the rivers and streams. And so, that's what we're hearing anyway from scientists. It is unknown how it affects this summer. It really does depend on, what type of a spring we have. But we are, as we like to say, preparing for the worst and hoping for the best. We are running our nitrate removal facility still at 5 vessels. And we are taking also water from Mappet Reservoir, which is our backup water source, so that we can keep up with demand and keep filling our ASRs here in the winter. So challenge for operations. I'd like to recognize really all the employees and teams that do a lot in adverse conditions. That ends my sermon.
Okay. Anything on safety, public affairs?
There are materials in your packet as usual. Safety, the safety summary gives a nice summary of 2025. As of the date of this memo, on January 16th, we did not have any injuries. True or not, I don't recall any. So that's good. I think there's an interesting trend line given on Dylan's memo. we looked at this recently at a meeting. It's interesting, 2021 is quite low at 2. And, we don't exactly know why that is. Maybe COVID and things just were different during that time period. And then the public affairs update, we recently, earlier this month, of course, had the legislative breakfast at the Iowa Capitol. There were over 40 legislators who stopped to talk with us, which we were very pleased with the turnout. And there's some more information there. As I mentioned, we continue to go to neighborhood associations, and there's definitely a lot of activity. And we're out and about and trying to tell our story.
What were the questions you got from legislators? I know there's a lot of interest in water quality.
It mostly did relate to water quality. Still some questions about, Central Iowa Water Works versus Des Moines Water Works. We're still doing some education on that. Talking about some potential bills, and we saw the bill that was introduced by the House related to water quality, healthy rivers or healthy waters. I can't remember what they called that. There were 5 asks or 5 components of that bill. So it was mostly water quality. I don't know if any of the other SMT that was there have anything else to add in terms of your conversations.
Questions
It
about
was like breakfast.
the lawn watering ban?
I didn't get any questions on that. Yeah. And we did not bring it up.
Yeah, it was a great event. Ally and I were able to join.
Yes,
It
thank
was
you.
Very rewarding. So thank
David
you.
and Alex. And thanks.
Hey, that is our agenda. John, do we need to take a vote to adjourn or?
I think we typically do.
We
couldn't remember, so it's the expert.
I
I will take a
recommend that we
motion
do.
to adjourn our meeting.
So move.
Second.
Right. All in favor of adjourning the meeting, say aye. Thank you, everyone.
Good job, firsting and seconding.
Yeah.
A lot of work for 2 people.
You can be fair.
Shoot.
Happy to help.
You got my,
That would be bad.
Feel down. It's not that far. Wait a minute.
Nice job, Dave.
I am,
Yeah, see, be careful what you're good at.
oh my gosh. I went a whole, I had a whole term and never figured out how to do it.
Perhaps I'll regret.